Hi, another film I caught up with recently was Robert Altman's 1972 film Images, his only attempt at the horror genre. The film was made, I believe, almost entirely in Ireland and stars Susannah York as Carolyn, a children's author working on a new book about a land of unicorns and who is having a series of hallucinations. She is repeatedly visited by the ghost of her former lover who died in a plane crash several years earlier, even though she is now married to somebody else. After another attack, her husband, Hugh, decides to take her to a cottage out in the Irish countryside where she can rest, recuperate, and both of them can indulge their artistic pursuits. However, Caroline continues to be haunted by both this ghost and visitors to the house, a former lover of hers named Marcel, and his daughter, Susannah, the names cross over, who it's suggested may in some way be connected to Carolyn. The film is surprisingly bad. 1965's Repulsion is a huge influence. The idea of a woman going insane in isolation, having hallucinations and ghosts and all kinds of psychological Freudian spectres surfacing. And the film does very little to build on that as an idea. There are some strong performances. Susannah York and René Auberjonois are both very good. There is some very beautiful Irish scenery. I think it's very hard to photograph that kind of landscape badly. But the film is just so empty. There's some symbolism of an ominous jigsaw or wind chime type chandeliers, and Carolyn keeps having visions of her own doppelganger waving at her from the distance. It never adds up to anything. It's never saying anything. It's never exploring anything. It feels like it's a jigsaw puzzle, but made entirely of bits of other jigsaws, so that they don't fit together and they don't make a picture. It's just things that supposedly work. The result is a very unimpressive film. I noted that it had a score by John Williams, a very minimalist score. It was still nominated for an Oscar, and it's, I think, the start of the Academy nominating Williams for basically everything he does, regardless of its quality. He'll definitely get a nomination for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, trust me. I found it to be, I think, the worst Altman film that I've seen. It's not surprising that it's his only attempt at horror, but I wouldn't call this a horror film. I wouldn't even call it a thriller. It's so lacking in tension or suspense or any kind of coherence or any kind of structure or worldview or really anything. It's a series of pretty pictures and noises, and they don't together form anything that I would coherently call a movie.